の呼吸3の型風の呼吸風の型日の神神楽陽化突
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the coolest time Slayers threw down.
なんと醜悪な姿だな、産屋敷。
Number 20, Rengoku's train track dash. Have you ever stopped to wonder what a runaway train is actually running away from? Well, apparently the answer is Kyojuro Rengoku. The flame Hashira realizes his target is down the tracks, so he starts running. Then he picks up speed, and then a little more, and then even more, until he vanishes in a burst of actual fire. Imagine being a demon, feeling nice and cozy inside your speeding train, only to look outside and see a slayer keeping up with you on foot. All we have to say is that someone needs to get Rangoku on a track team ASAP. Number 19, Tanjiro and his thick head. Demon or Hashira, it doesn't matter who you are. If you threaten Nezuko, Tanjiro will tear you down with his hands tied behind his back. That's not a figure of speech. Beaten, bound, and presented before a jury of Hashira, Tanjiro is helpless as Windslayer Sanemi begins torturing poor Nezuko. So he uses his head, literally. He charges forward, leaps over a sword slash, and then headbutts one of the highest ranking warriors in the entire Demon Slayer Corps. We don't know if it's bold or stupid, but either way, it definitely left an impression. Number 18, Muzan comes knocking. As the original demon and antagonist of the series, Muzan practically oozes authority everywhere he goes. But he really puts on a display when he pays Ubuyashiki's home a visit. The angles, the atmosphere, the glint of mischief in his eyes, Muzan's making a whole show of it. And even though he's a sadistic villain with no redeeming qualities, we have to admit, he looks pretty damn cool.
名言もここに極まれりだな。ヘドが出る。
In case you need reminding, he's literally strolling into the front door of his sworn enemy. A sworn enemy who is also surrounded by an elite team of warriors trained specifically to kill him. Not that Muzan seems to care one bit. Number 17, Flexible Inoske. Always one for dramatics, Inoske wasn't content introducing himself with a fight. No, he also had to rub his superiority right in Tanjiro's face. How? With flexibility, of course. Yeah, this is a literal flex. Right as Tanjiro is recomposing himself, Inosuke leans back and back and back until his head is literally poking out between his legs. No, there's no practical reason for this. He could have at least passed it off as some sort of excessive dodge or eclectic technique, but that's just not his style. In the end, it's purely just Inosuke showing off. We'd hold it against him, but truthfully, it is really impressive.
どうしたんだ?
Number 16, the Bane of Boulders. Man, what is it with Tanjiro and boulders? It's on sight with those two.
この岩を切れたら
Way back in the day, the Slayer wannabe had to slice through one to prove he was up to taking the entrance exam. It took a lot of work, but thanks to some pointers from Sabito and Makomo, Tanjiro turned the stone into sliced bread. Later, in yet another training arc, Tanjiro faced a boulder again, this one from Stone Hashira Gyome himself. While pushing it across the finish line took a lot of muscle mass, Tanjiro focused on his family and did it with aplomb. So much for being tough as a rock. Number 15. Muiro makes sushi. Just because someone makes swords doesn't mean they know how to use them. Just look at Kotetsu. The sniveling kid is a free meal for the fish demon. In fact, it's such a done deal, Muiro even wonders whether it's worth trying to save him at all. Of course, the missed Hashira makes the right call, and we're thankful for it, because it gave us one of the coolest slashes in the franchise. Also one of the shortest. With a single breathtaking swing of his sword, Muiro turns the demon into fish sticks. There is no doubt why he's a Hashira after something like that. Number 14. Ducky slaps Zenitsu senseless. Zenitsu. Normally the spineless scaredy cat of the Slayer Corps, he mans up enough to save a young girl from Ducky's wrath. As payment, he gets a nice slap across the face, and for the record, it's not the kind he'd like. Ducky is still maintaining appearances here, but with one flick of her hand, she sends poor Zenitsu all the way to Dreamland. Evidently, to her, Zenitsu isn't even worth a fight. If Ducky had decided to get serious, odds are there wouldn't have been any Zenitsu left to save at all. Number 13. Muzan drops everyone into Infinity Castle. Ubuyashiki's gambit was brilliant. He rigged his house with explosives, enlisted a demon friend, and lured Muzan right into the greatest trap in Slayer history. In the aftermath, the Hashira finally unite, ready to use their combined force to bring Muzan down for good. They charge in, blades ready, about to deal the final strike, when Muzan smirks. And just like that, every Slayer across the mountain is simultaneously dropped right into Infinity Castle, aka Muzan's domain. Even when surrounded by humanity's best slayers, the progenitor of demonkind still finds a way to come out on top. Worst of all, he does it with a smile too. Number 12. Tengen's flashy decapitation. Remember how we said Zenitsu wasn't even worth a fight to Ducky? Well, Sound Hashira Tengen Uzui is a different story. Don't get excited though, this barely qualifies as a fight. After all, Ducky doesn't even realize the match has begun until her head plops over into her arms. For perspective, this is the same demon who one-shotted Zenitsu, ruled over a district for generations, and nearly put Tanjiro into an early grave. What we're saying is that Ducky is no pushover, so even for a Hashira, this is one flashy almost finish we won't be forgetting anytime soon.
Number 11.
Mitsuri makes her entrance. Hashira have a thing for dramatic last-minute saves, and Mitsuri Kanroji is no exception. Right as Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya are about to get crushed by Hantengu's wooden dragons, the Love Hashira dives into action. With her heart on her sleeve and a whip sword in hand, she grinds Hantengu into wood chips before our eyes. This being Demon Slayer, it's all conveyed with brilliant animation, rocking music, and all the dazzling swordplay you could ever want. After all, it's as they say, love is a battlefield. And clearly this is one fight Mitsuri will be winning with style. Number 10. Muzan's Main Street Murder. Most demons are loud and proud about their death tally, but then again, Muzan Kibutsuji isn't most demons. As the original monster, Muzan doesn't concern himself with the small fry like Tanjiro. Instead, when he comes face to face with the Slayer in the middle of a busy street, Muzan simply slashes someone's neck.
人違いではないでしょうか。
まあ、そうなの？
It happens in the blink of an eye, and before anyone can notice, Muzan has already slipped away. We know that Muzan is powerful enough to kill any human on sight, but turning them into a demon in the middle of a packed street without getting caught is something else entirely. If this is what Muzan can do undercover, there's no telling what'll happen when he gets serious.
必ずお前の首に刃を振る。絶対にお前を許さない。
Number 9. Bugging out. Shinobu may look friendly, but trust us, she's a Hashira for a reason. Case in point, her friendship with the conniving spider sister begins and ends in the span of a single sword slash.
すごいですね。手のひらから糸を出しているんですか？
Of course, Shinobu is no monster. She gives the demon plenty of options for penance, like, say, gouging out her eyes or losing some of her organs. She chooses the hard way though, so Shinobu has no choice but to bring out the butterflies. Spoiler, they aren't as harmless as they seem. The poor spider sister never stood a chance against this poison. Clearly, when Shinobu says she wants to be friends, it's best to start running the other way.
首を切られてないからって安心したらいけませんよ。
Number 8. Organic Victory. A few stab wounds won't keep this board down, although we can see why Ducky was confused. Gyutaro's attacks would have sliced any other Slayer into finger food, but Inosuke has a trick up his sleeve. He can literally rearrange his organs at will, including his heart.
俺の体の柔らかさを見くびったね。内臓の位置をずらすなんてお茶の子さいさいだぜ。
The battle implications are insane. Unless you mince him into dust, Inosuke can almost never be fatally wounded. We'd say Ducky and Gyutaro won't make that mistake again, but based on how Inosuke cleaned up this fight, we'd wager they won't be doing much of anything at all anymore.
腹減った。なんか食わせろ。Inosuke!
Number 7. An emotional final form. Sniveling wimp or not, there's a good reason to be scared of Tango. 4 to be precise. When the going gets tough, he splits off into a squad of demons, each representing the emotions of joy, sorrow, anger, and pleasure. Together, they smack around Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya like nobody's business. But when their main body is at risk, they decide to up the ante and show off their real strength.
何が来た？どうする？
Also known as Zohakuten. While Tango was in danger, Zohakuten's arrival felt like overkill. Based on how quickly he thrashed the main cast, Tango's original emotions probably could have handled this on their own. Evidently, restraint is not one of his virtues. Number 6. Muzan's not mad, he's just disappointed. Shortly after slaying the Flame Hashira in cold blood, upper rank demon Akaza was probably feeling mighty full of himself.
ご命令通り、柱の一人は始末してまいりましたので、ご安心くださいますよ。
However, Muzan wasn't impressed with his subordinate's cockiness, especially once he learned Akaza failed to kill the other 3 Slayers at the scene. So, like any good father figure, Muzan doled out some tough love.
鬼が人間に勝つのは当然のことだろう。私の望みは鬼殺隊の殲滅。
All you need to know is that Akaza's smirk vanishes in record time. Keep in mind, he still murdered a Hashira, and that's no small feat. But despite it all, Muzan doesn't pass up the opportunity to assert dominance. It's a good thing Akaza beat Rengoku at all, else he might not have walked away from this check-in.
上限の3も落ちたものだな。
Number 5. A Swordsmiths Duty. Not even Kizuki can get between a swordsmith and their work. During Gyoko's attack on the swordsmith village, Hakanezuka decides he's going to finish crafting his sword, and nothing, demon or otherwise, will stand in his way. Gyoko doesn't make it easy on him, but the swordsmith doesn't so much as turn around even when the demon starts lashing his back. He doesn't even stop when his mask gets blown off, nor when he's hit in the eye or the entire building explodes around him. Now that's some dedicated workmanship, not to mention a smack in the face to Gyoko's so-called strength. Number 4. Demons on demons on demons. Upper ranks just don't know when to leave well enough alone, do they? And to think, it all started with Doma putting a hand on his ally's shoulder. He failed to realize that Akaza doesn't like to be touched. When Doma doesn't back down, he finds himself without a jaw. Not that he seems to be too bothered about it. Although, if we could regenerate as fast as him, we wouldn't mind either. Later, Akaza tries again by taking Doma's whole head, but all it does is lose Akaza his hand and his pride, courtesy of an appearance by Upper One, Kokushibo. Moral of the story, don't tick off a demon. Number 3. Nezuko goes full blast. Demons everywhere, be warned. If you mess with Tanjiro, you have Nezuko to speak to. Ducky pushed her luck too far, and Tanjiro's sister positively snapped. We're talking growing a full horn, biting off her muzzle, and developing a sick new kind of bloodlust. On the bright side, Nezuko used the power to kick the absolute crap out of Ducky. Considering the upper rank had just swept the floor with the Slayers, Nezuko's one-sided beatdown is a true blood-stained sight to behold. The message was loud and clear. There's only one demon who's the queen of the entertainment district, and her name is Nezuko. Number 2, the Water Hashira in action. In a hard-fought struggle for their very lives, Tanjiro and Nezuko had to give everything they had just to stay standing against Rui, and then, after that, Giyu swoops in and slashes the demon's neck in one clean slice. We'd say it's unnecessary, but this is the same Hashira who sliced the spider father to bits without so much as a blink. One shots are just Giyu's thing. What's more, he doesn't even look all that impressed with himself. It's one thing to slay a Kizuki in one strike, but another entirely to do it with a straight face. It makes you wonder, what does impress Giyu anymore? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Infinity Castle Massacre. Muzan doesn't take failure well, especially by his 12 Kizuki, so when they keep routinely failing him, he makes the completely rational and level-headed choice to clean house. To sum it up, Infinity Castle becomes a bloodbath. The lower moons? Gone! Every single one is left on the cutting room floor. These are supposed to be some of the best of the best, and Muzan takes them all out within minutes. As if to prove their ruler's might, some of the lower moons don't even put up a fight. For example, Enmu, who knows resisting Muzan is pointless. With that kind of reputation, it's no wonder Muzan reigns supreme.
そして私の役に立て。
What's your favorite sleigh in the entire series? Let us know in those comments below.